Hey guys, it's Lexi, and welcome to my holiday sweater roundup. So I thought I'd do something a little bit different and discuss some festive, seasonal, holiday sweater patterns that I've put in a bundle on Ravelry. So I don't know about you guys, but I would say every so often I kind of get an itch to knit something really seasonal and really festive, something that I can wear throughout the holiday season. So as you can see, I'm wearing my Augustin's number 4 sweater by Augustin's DK. This pattern was released in April of 2024, and I personally knitted up earlier this year, like pretty much just at the beginning of the year. I think maybe February I wrapped it up. I did knit this holding 2 strands together. I used Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino and their soft silk mohair. All the details will be linked down below. All right, so I have a really nice big list of patterns to go over with you guys. So I do have my Ravelry bundle up in front of me on my laptop, so I'm going to refer to it just to give you guys some accurate information. So with that, let's get started. The first sweater I have on here is the Snowy Frost sweater by Home of Cords. So I'll pop pictures up just so you can see the sweater that I'm talking about, but this was published in December of 2023. It's a DK weight sweater and the gauge is 21 stitches and 23 rows and 4 inches of stranded color work. The needle sizes range from US 4, US 6, and US 7. That would be 3.5 to 4 to 4.5 millimeter needles. And there are 10 sizes available. So I just thought this sweater was so pretty. It's got a lot of interest up at the top with that really beautiful sort of snowy like fir pine tree yoke. You could do it probably in a million color combinations. As you can see, I did not follow the color combination that was suggested for this sweater by the designer. I went a little off, and I think it can be really nice and a nice way to customize your sweater. So she's got a lot of beautiful examples in her pattern photos. But yeah, I think this is really festive, not only for the holidays, but for winter. So it could really take you into 2026 or, a little bit after the traditional holiday season. All right, so the next pattern I have in here is Betty Christmas by Claudia Quintanilla. So this pattern was published in July 2024. It is a fingering weight pattern. It's knit on US 3 and 4 or 3.25 millimeter and 3.5 millimeter. And it comes in sizes from extra small to 5XL. So I just thought this was such a beautiful classic, almost a blouse pattern, right? It's got that really lovely drapey bow in the front and it's so striking in this red color. I just think what a statement, It's just lovely and I think it's nice. I mean, I love the chunky colorwork sweaters. As you guys know, I'm finishing another Augustin's DK pattern right now, but I think it can be really lovely to wear something a little more subdued, but also make a statement. I mean, this is beautiful. So I think this would be a great option for someone who maybe doesn't want to get into all the colorwork jazz, but still wants to make, a striking statement for the holidays. All right, moving along, we have the Snow Globe sweater, and this is by Una Kim. This was published in December of 2023, and it is an Aran weight sweater. It's 16 stitches and 23 rows equals 4 inches. It is knit up on needle sizes US 9 and 8, which would be a 5.5 and 5 millimeter needle. And there are 7 sizes available in this pattern. So this pattern caught my eye because it's texture, right? It's not color work, but it's texture. And not everybody, like I said, goes for all of the color work. Maybe you just want something that has interest with like beautiful cables or baubles or lace. So I thought this was a really beautiful, subtle winter sweater. I think it's gorgeous knit up in the white, but I think it could be beautiful in a variety of colors, like an icy blue, a gray. I think you have a lot of options here. So I just thought this was so neat. And it looks like there might even be a children's version of this sweater. So that might be something to look into if you have little ones in your life. Yeah, I just think it's really sweet. It's a raglan sweater. It looks like a fairly simple construction, so had to add it to the list. Okay, so the next sweater we have is the Rudolph sweater, and this is by Navita Design Studio, and it was published in November 2024. So this is an all-over colorwork pattern. It's a DK weight sweater, And it's 22 stitches and 24 rows, is 4 inches in the stranded colorwork pattern, and the needles suggested are US 4 and 6 or a 3.5 and 4 millimeter needle. The sizes available are extra small all the way up to 5XL. So one nice thing about this pattern is that right now it's available for free on Ravelry. So if you're interested in knitting it, it's available for you to go peruse the pattern and see if it's something you actually want to work up. So I recently completed an all over colorwork sweater. It did have this bird's eye or flea work pattern where there's kind of single stitches in a different color from the background. But I really think it's such a cute, fun, festive, traditional colorwork sweater. It screams Christmas, right? It's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So if you're looking for, that type of pattern to wear to holiday parties or dinners or wherever you're going this holiday season, I think this would be super sweet. And how great is it that it's available for free, right? Moving on to the next pattern, we have Wolf Winter by Liev Ulven. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It looks like this pattern was published very recently in 2025, and really what struck me about it is that it's subtle holiday, subtle winter. It's a very classic pattern, almost in that bird's eye kind of vein, right? Like it's got the fleas or the single stitches across the entire body of the sweater. So it gives winter, especially in these colors where you have that dark background with the white, almost snow flurry looking color work. I just think this could be like a staple seasonal sweater for you. This could be a really neat and interesting, but also like it doesn't scream holiday. A little bit of information about it. It is a worsted weight pattern, 14 stitches and 24 rows, is 4 inches. Then suggested needle sizes are US 4 and 7, which would be a 3.5 and 4.5 millimeter needle. And there are 9 sizes right now. So I just think this is a really neat sweater and I would be tempted to work it up. Like I said, it could be a great layering piece and it's subtly festive. Another sweater I have on the list is the Lumber Sweater. And this is by The Knit Is On, Met Christensen. So it looks like they go by The Knit Is On. And this was released in January 2025. So it's a sport weight sweater. The gauge is 18 stitches and 25 rows equals 4 inches in stockinette stitch in stranded colorwork. The suggested needles are US 6 and 4, and that would be 4 and 3.5 millimeter needles. And it comes in sizes extra small to 2XL. So I think here the key is color, right? There are some interesting color suggestions in the pattern page. I really like that kind of royal blue with that umber ochre brown. I think that's really pretty, but you could make it very literal, right? I mean, you could do like a red and green, a red and white, or even green and white. You could go a million different ways with color here, which is one of my favorite things to do. I really enjoy picking out colors for a pattern, so I think this could be really pretty. And again, it's not like a very obvious holiday sweater. You could get a lot of use out of it through the entire sweater season. Okay, so we have a few plaid motifs coming up here. I am a huge fan of plaid. So when I saw these, I felt like I'm going to give you all the plaid options because they're all slightly different. So next we have the Noel vest. It's by Fable Knitwear and the pattern was released in November of 2024. It's a fingering weight sweater, 18 stitches equals 4 inches. The needle size is US 6 and 4 or a 4 and 3.5 millimeter needle. And it comes in sizes extra small up to 4XL. So the thing that I liked about this is that it's a little different than what we've seen. Now we're looking at a vest. She's layered it over a turtleneck here. And the button band is actually decorative, so you can work the whole thing in the round. There is no opening there. It's kind of just like a slip over. And you'll see in the pattern photos that she has worked it up in kind of a festive red, green, gold colorway, but then there are other colorways as well. So I think this is sort of neat. It's a fun traditional motif that could be great for layering and certainly very festive during the holiday season. Continuing on with our plaid theme, we have Teskoft by Sarah Ottosen. Yeah, I said that right, I think. It was published in January 2024, and this is another vest. So it's a sport weight vest. The gauge is 13.5 stitches and 22 rows equals 4 inches. Worked with yarn held double. So the suggested needle sizes here are US 7, US 4, and US 9, which would be 4.5, 3.5, and 5.5 millimeter needles. And the sizes available in this pattern range from size 1 all the way up to 11. So I think this pattern is so great. It's a classic, definitely, you know, a wardrobe staple. And there's actually 2 ways you can knit it up. So she has it shown knit in the round to the hem, but then she also has an option where there is a side split on the hem. So I think that's fun. You know, everybody likes to wear their garments a little differently. You may have certain usage cases for a vest. Maybe you want to layer it over bulkier things where you would like a little bit of extra room, and that side split might really do a lot for you. So I had to include it. Again, I think colors here are going to make a huge difference. You can take it super festive with traditional colors, or you could do something a little more subtle or classic. All right, so that's pretty much all of the plaid patterns I had for you guys. So now we're going to take it back to some color work. We have the Delft pullover by Brianna Mason. This was published in October 2025, and it's an Aran weight sweater. The gauge here is 16 stitches and 22 rows, which is 4 inches in stockinette and 2 color stranded color work. The needle sizes are US 5, 6, 8, and 9, which would be 3.75, 4, 5, and 5.5 millimeter needles. And there are 9 sizes currently available. So I just thought this was a gorgeous colorwork sweater. I know it's not traditionally holiday, but I think, again, you could totally take it there with the colors that you choose. To me, this is a classic colorwork pattern. I would love to work this up myself, and I even like it in just the black and the white, or the cream and that dark color. My shepherd is stretching, so he's shaking the camera. Yes, I know. Yeah, so this sweater looks super cozy, and I really like that kind of pop of color at the cuff and the hem. I think it's really kind of a fun callback to the stranded color work and very striking. Man, this might have to be on my queue to make. I love this. Anyways, so yeah, that's the Delft pullover. Okay, Ritter has gone back to his bed, so he's just out of frame here. All right, the next sweater I have on my list is the North Star sweater. This is by Rose Marine, and it was published in October 2022. It's an Aran weight sweater, 20 stitches and 28 rows equals 4 inches. The needle size is US 4, 6, and 7, or 3.5, 4, and 4.5 millimeter. And it comes in 4 sizes right now. So that's not a great size range, but I did want to include it on here because I thought the color work was very pretty. So what really drew me to this design was the sort of like subtle banding again towards the hem and the cuff, which is also repeated in the yoke. I think the star pattern, it sort of reminds me of like a quilt motif. I think it's so pretty. And again, I love it in the colors she has here, but I mean, there's endless possibilities for colors. So yeah, this is a lovely colorwork sweater. It's unfortunate that it's only available in 4 sizes, but if it works for you or someone you know, I wanted to include it on the list. So I have a ton listed in this bundle, and I will link it for you guys down below to peruse in your own time. But the last sweater I have on here is the Christmas tree sweater. This is by Paul Arn Wick, and it was published in November of 2023. This is a DK weight sweater. The gauge is 22 stitches and 4 inches, and the needle size is US 4 and 6, or 3.5 and 4 millimeter needles. For sizes here, we have an extra small up through a 3XL. So again, this is more all over color work. It's kind of similar to the Rudolph sweater I mentioned in the beginning, but this has a Christmas tree motif on it. So if you wanted to do something a little different, there's a tree motif, and it does have that bird's eye motif all over the bottom and sleeves. Apparently, I really like this. I didn't realize that I had such a thing for this type of pattern, but I do. And again, you could totally do this in a non-traditional color, which would kind of make it a little more, you know, wearable past like December. So at the end here, I'm gonna include a few sweaters that were specifically photographed on men. So there's nothing to say that, you know, if you're a man, you couldn't wear some of the sweaters that I mentioned earlier, or if you're a woman, you couldn't wear some of the sweaters I'm about to mention, but I'm just gonna throw it out there that they were photographed on men, so take that for what you will. The first sweater I want to talk about is number 7, Fair Isle Yoke Pullover by Yokohata. This was released in October 2017, and it's a worsted weight sweater. The gauge is 20 stitches and 26 rows in 4 inches, and the needle size is US 5 and 7 or 3.75 and 4.5 millimeter. The sizes available are small, medium, large, and extra large. So again, there's not an incredible range of sizes here, but I did want to include it as an option for you. So I thought this was great. It's traditional, it's festive, but it's not like Rudolph on your sweater, right? This could be really cozy in a cabin, or if you go somewhere over the holidays, very cozy and become a classic in someone's wardrobe. This could be layered over turtlenecks or under coats and jackets, and I could just see this being something that someone might wear all the time. I really also appreciated the traditional color work up at the top, and again, I like that callback at the hem and the cuffs. I don't know what it is, it's another trend for me, I guess, but I just thought this was so traditional. It is a worsted weight pattern, so I feel like it could knit up fairly quickly, especially if you're doing, a men's size sweater. Sometimes that takes a bit longer, so gauge is something to consider here, but I do think that this is a really lovely classic traditional sweater. Next on our list is Savin or Savin by Megan Babin. Hopefully I said all of that correctly. This sweater was released in September 2021, and as you can see, it's an all-over textured cabled sweater. The yarn weight used for this is worsted. It's 18 stitches and 29 rows. US needle size 4, 5, and 7 or 3.5, 3.75, and 4.5 millimeter. And there are quite a few sizes available, ranging from size 1 all the way up to 10. So you can see here in the pattern photos, this sweater is shown on a man and a woman, so it seems like it's fairly unisex, made for everyone. I just thought this was like a classic, traditional, chunky sweater. Yeah, there's no like Christmas trees or snowflakes or red and green. I mean, you could certainly knit this in red or green, but I just had to include it because I thought it was really a great, solid winter sweater and definitely could be worn to a festive occasion. So yeah, this would be my pick for a classic New England fisherman style sweater. All right, so the next sweater we have here is Ridari, and I apologize, but I'm gonna butcher this name. That is John's Dotier. I'm sure I'm saying that incorrectly, and I apologize. Anyways, this designer created this sweater for Istex, and it was released in January 2008. This is a gorgeous colorwork sweater, very classic, very traditional. It's a Aran weight sweater, 18 stitches and 24 rows, needle size US 7 to US 4 or 4.5 and 3.5 millimeter, and it comes in sizes extra small through double XL. This caught my eye because it was so traditional and it's almost tonal. It's worked in shades of cream, brown, and it looks like a very dark brown or black. Again, I think you could knit this for anyone. I think it looks fairly unisex to me, but you could totally take it Christmas and make it very festive if you wanted to. So I know this isn't traditionally a holiday, but I did want to include it here for you. All right, the last pattern we have on our list is Let It Snow by Hane Rimmon. This was released in August of 2022, and it's an all-over colorwork sweater. This sweater is a DK weight sweater. The gauge is 20 stitches and 26 rows equals 4 inches in stockinette, and the needle sizes are US 4 and 6 or 3.5 and 4 millimeter needles. The sizes available are small all the way up to 3XL. So I just thought this was really festive and kind of different for what I've shown here in this last section. It is very traditionally holiday. If you look in the pattern, it says it was inspired by the lyrics for Let It Snow, which, everybody knows that song for the holidays. But I thought it was really pretty, and I liked it here in this navy and cream or white. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this pattern is another free pattern. How great is that? So All the patterns will be linked down below for you to peruse, but yes, the Rudolph sweater and the Let It Snow sweater are both free patterns right now available on Ravelry. This gives you time to sort of think about what you might want to do if you're planning on knitting a holiday sweater. You can choose from a really nice curated bundle of patterns here. And it gives you also the ability to kind of start to daydream about your yarn, think about what you might use if you have stash or if you need to make a purchase. I know for me, I love, thinking about colors. If you're going to select a Colorwork sweater or even an all over like solid, you still have to pick a color. So this gives you some time to think about it and think about what you want to do for this holiday season. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, or at least relaxing as you knit along and join me for this cozy holiday sweater roundup. And please let me know, did you guys have any favorites? Was there anything that really stuck out to you? I was really trying to avoid patterns that I know I've seen mentioned in roundups before. So I know that Knitting for Olive has a bunch of really great holiday sweaters. Augustine's DK has a few, and also I know she's releasing another coming up very soon. I just saw that teased on her Instagram, which is so exciting. But yeah, I tried to go a little out of the box, things that maybe you haven't seen before or didn't consider before. So yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts and your comments. Are you excited to knit a holiday sweater? Are you skipping it this year? Let me know. As always, I appreciate you being here. Subscribing, liking, and commenting are all really wonderful ways to support me and my channel. Please do follow me on Instagram. I'll put my handle up on the screen for you now. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.